Okay. So again, if you want to speak, if you're not sure how to unmute it, right, if you put your cursor on your picture, there'll be a little button pops up that says unmute, or it should be your space bar. That's like a push to talk. You hit your space bar once, it'll unmute you, and then you hit it again, it can mute you. Right. So first, I'd like to welcome everybody. We have some people new to the program. This is their first course ever. So this is the second time I'm teaching this class online. So most of you are familiar now with the way we're doing the MBA. We have courses either on campus or online. You can get any of the courses in either format, right? All the courses are taught in both formats. Although this summer, for the first time ever, the final capstone course, the 690 capstone course, we had only one person sign up to take it on campus, so that one's all online now. So for next summer, we're probably going to have all the courses just online. It's just a lot easier for everybody's schedule. So if we had a strong demand for on-campus classes, we could set that up. But unless we see more interest in that, the summer classes are probably going to be online going forward. That's just the way that the students are signing up for classes. So this is the leadership and ethics class. So first thing I want to do is kind of go around, if everybody kind of introduce themselves just very quickly, kind of name, where you work, if you're new to the program or been in the program a while, and just kind of give us, and kind of maybe what your undergrad degree is in real quickly. And we can kind of, if you can see the screen, we can kind of go around the screen with Ben. We can start with you real first, just kind of introduce yourself.
Sure, Ben King. I've actually been in the program for a while now, so I've really enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll be graduating next summer, but I did my undergraduate at Liberty, and looking forward to this class.
Okay, James? James, you introduce yourself? Thornhill?
I'm here. I'm James. My undergrad was completed at Lynchburg College. I am currently a HR generalist at Sweetbriar College, and up until a few months ago, I was working in HR for the regional jail. So most of my experience is in public policy and public human resources.
Good. All right. Blake?
Hi, I'm Blake Moore. I got my undergrad in business at actually marketing management at Virginia Tech, and I currently work in Roanoke as an operations manager for a financial services company.
Good. All right, Kirsten?
I'm Kirsten. I got my undergrad at LC in accounting, and I work at VXT as a nuclear materials accountant.
All right, good. Callie?
Hi, I'm Callie Witt. I work at First National Bank in Amherst. I got my undergrad at Lynchburg College in communication studies. Yeah, so I'm excited to be taking this class.
Good. All right, Brian?
I'm Brian Wolk. I started my MBA in the spring, and I got my finance degree from Virginia Tech. And I work at Belvac as a financial analyst.
Good. Rachel?
Hey, I'm Rachel. I got my undergrad in culinary at Nichols State University, which is in Louisiana. And I'm the operations manager at Raising Cane's right now. And this is my last class. I'm transferring it back to Nichols where I'm getting my MBA, but I couldn't take it online. So
good.
Taking it with y'all.
All right. Kendall?
My name is Kendall. I went to Lynchburg College for my undergrad in marketing. I'm currently working as a graduate assistant in student activities at Lynchburg College.
Good. Joe?
I'm Joe Epperson. I got my undergrad in finance at Virginia Tech and currently working at Essentra Health as a customer experience manager.
Good. Carlton? No, Carlton, we lost your audio again, Carlton. Nope, don't have you. For those of you just joined late, he had to use his phone before. If we get a chance, we'll come back to you. Sarah.
I'm Sarah Turner, and I got my undergrad in finance at Roanoke College, and I currently am a senior accountant at Banker Steel in Lynchburg.
Good. All right, Matt.
My name is Matt Blanks. I got my undergrad in mechanical engineering at Virginia Tech, and I
I am now an engineer at BWXT. I'm about halfway through the program here now.
Good. Kevin.
My name is Kevin Birnbaum. I work at Centra, specifically in the Centra Medical Group, doing provider contracting. This is my second class in the program, and got my undergrad at Liberty. I got a undergrads in finance.
Good. All right, John.
Hi, my name is John Ramsey. I got my undergrad degree in accounting at Tennessee Tech University a long time ago. I won't say how long. I started with the MBA program back in the fall. I currently work for, excuse me, for City of Lynchburg Parks and Recreation Department, support services manager.
Good. Jeffrey?
Yeah, my name's Kafra. I got my undergrad in film at George Mason University, and currently I'm a GA, graduate assistant with the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's like a media association on campus.
Good. Do you call the games?
I don't call the games, but sometimes I'll direct or do camera highlights.
Okay, good, good. All right, sounds like fun. Cody.
Hey, my name's Cody Campbell. I got my undergrad mechanical engineering from Virginia Tech about 6 years ago. Halfway through the courses here at Lynchburg College MBA, and I work at BWXT and nuclear materials engineering.
Good. Lori.
I'm sorry I was late. Were we
That's
just
all right.
doing introduction?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Lori Branch, and I got my undergrad at EMU, and I currently work for Hershey in accounting.
Mm-hmm. All right, thanks. Brian? Hey there, Brian? Maybe not. Josh?
I'm Josh Newman. I got my undergrad from LC in education, and I am currently the associate legal contracts for the legal department at Centra.
Good. All right, Giles?
Hey, Giles Sidner. I'm from Lynchburg originally. Did undergrad at University of Denver, where I got a general business degree at Daniels College of Business. Been in the program since January, and I am in charge of business development for the business banking group of Wells Fargo for Charlottesville, Lynchburg, and Danville.
Okay. All right, good. So Giles is at Wells Fargo. Yeah, I knew that. All right, and Lindsay?
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I graduated from Virginia Tech back in 2011 with a degree in human development. Currently actually working at Lynchburg College, and this is my first class with the program.
All right, good, good. Well, welcome everybody. So I'm Lee Schumler. I'm the director of the program. I'm also your advisor. So I'm the academic advisor for everybody in the program. So if you have trouble, I'm the first one you call, email, so forth. Actually, if you have trouble in a class, you email the professor first, but I'm the go-to person, and then I'll help you with your scheduling and all of that. So if you're not scheduled for the fall, I sent a couple of you emails out. I'm the person you talk to about what classes you should take, when you're going to take them, what works best for you, particularly if you're not on a traditional schedule. Most people are taking 2 classes or 6 credit hours a semester, and if you have other needs, right, that's perfectly okay. We have a very flexible schedule. We can work you through this, right? Again, we're not a cohort, so you don't have to keep in lockstep with all your classmates, although certainly lots of people like to do that so they can get through the program in 2 years, right? If you take 6 credit hours a semester, 36 credit hours, you'll be through in 2 years. That's the way the schedule's set up, so we can in 2 years. But when it's something different than that, perfectly okay. We will work it out as best it fits the so again, I'm the go-to person for that. So I worked in industry for 20 years. I'm not one of these professors who've only done academics. I worked in industry. We used to have a huge operation. Well, I used to work in a defense company, very much like BWXT. We have a couple employees here in the class. We were a big defense contractor making tanks for the U.S. Army. I did that up in Michigan and way back in the 80s. Then I moved to Lynchburg in the early 1990, where I was making radios for General Electric. And then they started making car phones, if you remember car phones, back before pocket phones in the early 90s. And once we started making pocket phones, they needed a lot more engineering resources in the cell phone division. So I transferred over to the cell phone division. So where Liberty University, I guess it's not their new indoor track, their old indoor track across from the mall, right? That used to be our cell phone production factory, right? We had 3,000 people in there making 25,000 cell phones a day. 24/7. That was lots of fun. It was a huge operation. We did over $1 billion in sales a year. And that was lots of fun. So that was all through the 90s. And then I was teaching part-time. At about the time that got pushed overseas, the production and the market, the bubble burst in 2000, all that, I decided to jump on board at LC, and I've been teaching full-time there ever since. And I went back to school and got my doctorate. So I can still remember your pain of working during the day and going to school at night and all that. And I get that, right? I understand what some of the hassles are there, right? I did get my MBA when I was in working as an engineer in the 80s. And I'll have to tell you, it really did change my life. I learned a lot about the business that I had no idea what was going on. The accountants think the business is there so they can do accounting. Engineers, I think the business is there to do engineering and so forth, right? And getting an MBA really helps you see the big picture, and it makes you a lot more valuable at work. I like to tell people I was watching my boss make decisions, my engineering manager make decisions, and I understood the question, and I understood the alternatives were A, B, and C, and I had no idea why he picked C and not A or B. And I would talk to him about it, and then he would explain it to me, and then he'd find if you want to learn more about this kind of stuff, you really should go get an MBA. And so I did, and that really did change my career around, and I moved from a mechanical engineer to a management professor, so it changed things a lot. And I look forward to your feedback about the program and about the classes, and if anybody has suggestions or things that we're thinking about adding some classes. So if you think about things you would like to see added to the curriculum right now would be a good time to let me know. If there's other things you would like to take, maybe even next year, we might have time to add some more classes as electives to the program. That's what we're trying to figure out right now. We actually had a meeting on that today. So this is a good time if you're interested at all to give me some feedback, right? I'm always willing to hear you out. So let's talk about this class somewhat. So hopefully you've got your book. I'm going to pull up the Moodle page here. I hit the share screen button down here, and we can pull up the Moodle page here. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is the start here menu, right? So the voice threads, I've sent you an email about the voice thread. Those are video blogs, right? Used to be on online classes, you type some stuff and then people would respond to you and so forth. It's a little easier, particularly in a leadership class where you don't have to type it all out. These are video blogs where you just get to speak. So the first thing you need to do is come to this one under Start Here, click on this voice thread group, and log in. So you have to sign up for the class. This is all free on your part to get you registered with VoiceThread. So when you go to make an entry, they know who you are. Right, and save it to your computer, and then you can get in easily, right? And then when you come down to, so we have, for some reason, I set this to show, and it's not showing. Well, if we click on this voice thread, let me slide this over a little bit. I don't know why this isn't. I went to this earlier and set this. I had these hidden because the links weren't working. Let me set this to show. So if you hit, just click on the voice thread where it's blue and it takes you to the link, and basically a window pops up, and then you can enter your video blog into that. So you're going to need a microphone. You're going to need a camera to bring you. Oh, this is still set up on the old one. I went through these. For some reason, it didn't take. I'll straighten it up. So this is what they look like. This is the last class we've taken.
After taking the Mind Tools Emotional Intelligence test.
Right, so you just make a little video blog on whatever the topic is. So for those, I'm looking for somewhere between 2 and 5 minutes, right? I'm not looking for 15, 30 minutes. There's no PowerPoints required. This is just off the cuff speaking. Sometimes I'll have you look at, there's some self-assessments in the book. I have you report on what you found taking these self-assessments and so forth. So I'll go back and check that link, but oh, here it is. That's the problem. There's 2 links for it. I just turned on the old one. So here's the new link, and you'll get a blank window that pops up. Right, and then you click on this comment down here, and then you can make your recording to that. Right, and then I'll go back and watch these later. Okay, and then we scroll down. You'll see different opportunities for that. Right. When you see a hand with a paper in it, right, this is where you put in an assignment. So this is the Fortune Magazine Leader assignment. So you click on here, here's the assignment, right? So find any Fortune Magazine article, right? Or it could be any business literature from the past 5 years and write a profile about a business leader, 2 or 3 pages on what makes them a leader, and I give you some hints on there what to write about, right? And whenever I tell you how long something is, I mean double spaced. Let's jump back. Whoops. Let's jump back to this. Part of what we're going to do here is these reflections on the readings, right? So we have chapters in the books to read, or parts of chapters in the books to read. We watch videos to watch. Those are like the class lecture videos, right? And then these reflection on readings, right? So the key thing here is please review the chapters in the textbook and write a reflection on the 3 most important points from each chapter, right? What will you remember as takeaways to use in your future? So every chapter, when you think about the 3 most important things to you, right, in terms of your leadership and how you deal with those people around you, right? So restate what the author said in your own words, and it helps you kind of cement it in your brain what this means and how you might use it, right? So how might you use this in the future? Why do you think this is important to you? Why you think this is important, right? So then for each chapter, you write a 1 to 2 page double-spaced a reflective writing on that chapter. Right, and then you put these together in a little paper, so clearly identify each section. In each section, the number of the chapter and the title of the chapter. That's so when I read these through, right, I know what you're referring to when you talk about these key points, right? I know what chapter you're referring to, right? So it's like notes, but it's less detailed and more on what does this mean to me, right? Because I want you to view this as a leadership course, not just about other leaders and about leader as a theory, but about your leadership, right? So I want you to immediately start thinking about what all this stuff means to you and your leadership style, right? So include your description of any self-assessments that have been assigned in the reading. So in the reading, there's some self-quizzes you take, right? Like the Cosmo, hopefully better, self-assessments, right? And then you're going to, and so if there's a self-assessment in the reading, then I want you to also refer to how you scored on those and what it means to you, right? So we're going to turn in chapters 1 and 2 as one assignment on July 2nd, chapters 3, 4, 8, and 19 as a second assignment on July 19th, and 5, 7, 12, and on July 16th, right? So for instance, so the first reflections go here. If you click on here, this takes you to a link where you can submit your reflective paper on chapters 1 and 2, and then further down, right, here's the second reflection readings, chapters 3, 4, 8, 9, and so forth, right? So any questions on the reflective writings? Okay, so you have any questions while you're doing it, right? And just remember, all lengths are double spaced. When I talk about how long I'm expecting something, it's double spaced. Okay, another exercise we're doing here is this leadership movie. So let me talk about that for just a couple minutes. So what you do is find this movie that used to be on Amazon. I'm sorry, it used to be on Netflix for free. Now you can get it on Amazon Prime for $3. And some of you are quite good at finding other movies on the internet, so you might be able to find it elsewhere. So this is a movie it's an old movie. It's black and white. It's from 1948. It's called 12 O'Clock High. And I just kind of want to do the setup for the movie because it's such an old movie. So in this movie, this is in the middle of war. This movie is the time frame is like 1943. It's the middle of World War II. They don't explain any of this in the movie because the movie was made 3 years after the war was over. So everybody going to the movie theater would have automatically have known all this stuff, right? So anyway, it's the middle of World War II. The Germans control all of Europe except for England. England is standing alone. The Americans are now in the war, but Normandy hasn't happened yet. So this is actually 1942 because Normandy hasn't happened yet. So we haven't invaded the mainland of Europe. So what we're doing is we're pushing all these bombers over to England, and we're flying across the English Channel. We're bombing Europe. So that's sort of the plot. But the major plot is about leadership. So this group is struggling. They're taking too many casualties. They're not getting their missions completed. They're not hitting their targets. So this guy, General Savage, gets assigned to take over this unit and whip him into shape. And that's what the whole movie's about, his leadership style, how he adjusts his leadership style for the different requirements that get the job done. And then I have these questions down here, these 5 questions down here about the movie, right? So it's a good idea to keep track of who's who during the movie. And then and the assignment is, you can write here, the assignment is to write a 4-page paper, again, double-spaced, addressing the following issues. So answer these 5 questions in 4 pages is the assignment about the movie. This is just a classic book. It's a war movie, but it's mostly a leadership movie and about different leadership styles, different people in the movie, what they do, and how he takes a group that's really failing and whips them into shape and gets them so they can do without him, right? So it's a classic old movie. It's in black and white, I know, and it's sometimes war movies aren't the most interesting to watch, but but this is a pretty good movie about leadership style. And I've talked to any number of professors in leadership classes, and this is still one of the top movies people show in class. So I'm going to have you watch this one. I'm interested in your feedback about the movie, but it's a good movie about leadership and what somebody does when they're a new leader taking over a failing organization, which is like one of the most crucial things a leader can do, right? You get a group that, this group is broken and they tell you to fix it, right? And that's what you have to do. So that is due, when is that due? Trying to check the schedule here. That is due July 8th. Let me go back, right? Again, I would refer you to the course timeline here. This is when everything's due, right? This is the one you want to print out. This is the one you want to tape to your bathroom mirror so you can check it every morning when you're brushing your teeth, right? And make sure you have the schedule set. If there's any disagreements, if there's any alternate dates you find floating around or whatever, this is the Bible of when everything is due, right? So we're having the meeting now. The VoiceThread 1.2 is due July 2nd. The movie's due July 8th. We're going to have another movie right after the next day on July 9th where we'll talk about some more things due in the class. Okay. Other comments, let's see. Something else I wanted to talk about. The movie reflections. Oh, I had a question about group work. Is there group work in the class? And the answer is yes. And that is much further into the class. So the last week of the class, we're basically 4.5 weeks for this class. Down here in ethics and leadership, once we start that, now that we've started the class, because people always enter and exit classes like on the last couple days. So we're going to pick teams, and I'm going to have you do some ethics readings and do some video blogs, I think, or actually write a short little paper. But well, let me review that. But anyway, I'm going to make some assignments for you. There's going to be some reading assignments for everybody, and then some case study analysis by the different teams. So there will either be 2 or 3-person teams. This is such a big class, I might make it 3-person teams, and you'll get to pick your teams. So if you want to think about who you might have on your team, I'll probably have this all ready to roll out next week, give you a couple weeks to get ready for it. All right, so that's the only teamwork in this class. When you do, you have to summarize a reading and you have to respond to an ethics case in here. Right, and then the final exam is going to be the last couple days of July. You'll have a couple days to do this. I'll give you the exam, and I'll give you the exam to do, and you'll get to plenty of time to work on it. And it's an open book, open notes final exam. There's no proctoring. There's none of that going on. So basically, I'll ask you some questions and looking for essay type answers for the final exam. Right. So your reflective readings, where you're keeping track of what you're learning in the chapters and all that, will help with that. Okay, and then the rest, kind of the middle, is more the same. Readings, watch video lectures, right? And that becomes part of your video blogs, right? Here's another VoiceThread prompt. There's 6 VoiceThreads you're going to do in here, for instance. So there's 3 reflective readings, 6 VoiceThreads. You're going to do the movie analysis. You're going to do the writing about a Fortune Leader magazine, leadership style. And then there's your own leadership self-assessment, right? So this is kind of a key deliverable in here. Describe your personal leadership style. Be sure to use information from the self-assessments in the leadership textbook. So you'll be doing these self-assessment quizzes about yourself, and you need to write a paper about your own leadership style. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And very key, give a detailed plan for action to improve your weaknesses. Be specific, right? So for instance, maybe you're scared, or maybe you're just kind of intimidated to speak up at work. So you might be tempted to say, so my plan is to try to speak up more, right? That's the opposite of being specific, right? You're going to tell them exactly how you're going to, what meetings might you speak up more? What things might you bring up? How many times a week should you try to speak up? How are you going to keep track of that to be sure you're living up to your own expectations, right? That's what I mean by be specific, right? So this is sort of your, if you sign up to work out at the Y, they make you fill out an exercise plan, how often you come in, if you're going to lift weights, what are you going to do, all that kind of stuff, right? This is your plan for you, right? This is where you're going to work on the better you, the better version of you, right? Everybody's got room for improvement. So this is your workout plan on what you're going to do in the future. Now that you know about more things about leadership, what are you going to do to make, to bring out your inner leader and make you a better leader, right? And I think, and students will tell me that's one of the big things they get out of this class, right? I mean, learning about leadership is nice, but doesn't do you a heck of a lot of good if it doesn't make you a better leader, right? So that's what this paper is about. You're going to write a plan for you, right, on how you're going to make you a better leader, right? And I think that's probably the most useful thing you'll get out of this class when you take these other learnings and apply it to yourself, right? That's really, I mean, that really should be the one that interests you the most. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for tonight in terms of kind of go through the major assignments and so forth. What kind of questions do you have for me? Any questions about what we're going to be doing? Okay, I will tell you, when people shoot me questions about assignments, you usually see me, I'll try to reply to everybody. I figure if one person has the question, probably a third of you have the question. So often I'll try to reply to everybody about it. So if you see quick emails, quick responses from me that I'm sending out to everybody, that's what that's about, right? Because, you know, it's a little difficult to get feedback and there's body language and all that when you do an online class. So sometimes people might not quite be sure they're getting the right instructions, or they might not understand the instructions. So feel free to ask for more detail. I'll be happy to answer, and I'll forward that along to everybody. Okay. Any other questions, comments, anything? Right. A couple people have asked, what happens if something happens and I can't get an assignment, you know, something emergency happens, right? The best thing you do is just let me know, right? Don't disappear on me. Let me know, right? Things happen all the time, right? My daughter's in grad school and she got in a car wreck and got a concussion, right? Things happen, right? So if something happens, right, let me know. Don't just disappear, right? We will work it out. Grades are due mid-August, right? So if someone has something happen and they need an extension, right, that's okay. But I can't have everybody slipping on everything because we have 36 people in this class. So things got to be done so I can get things graded and get it back to you, right? Right. This class is going to be enough of a grading challenge the way it is. And we're in and out of here in 4.5 weeks. So it'll be over pretty fast. Okay. Any other questions, comments? We good? All right. So I will post this on Moodle. If anybody's haven't seen this, right, the rest of the class, half the classes, there, about a third of the classes in here, they can watch it. If you have any questions, you can go back and review that, or ask, or, you know, certainly email me questions and I'll be happy to answer it. All right, well, it was good to meet those of you who haven't met before, right? And we'll be speaking in the future. Then the first things are due are VoiceThread 1.2 is due July 2nd. Yeah, go ahead. Did somebody have a question? I didn't see who was speaking. All right, so the first thing is due is the VoiceThread is July 2nd, and the movie paper is due July 8th, right, to get those on your schedule. All right? All right, well, take care. I will talk to you later. Bye now.